Hello everyone, how's it going? You know the phrase everything old is young again? Where things that are old make a return into culture? Examples may include chess, older cars, and asbestos. Now recently I've gotten into this kind of stuff. I don't know if it's just the fact that I have the decoration taste of an 18th century sailor, but if you compare my room to the room of my grandfather, there is little to no difference. Now most of these things are fairly cheap, but one of my endeavors has cost me a pretty penny, and I want to talk about it. So over the last year, I began listening to music a bit more frequently. There are a few bands though that I really enjoy, one of which is a band called St. Arno. Anyway, one day before Christmas, back in October, I was looking on the internet to add things to my Christmas list. I was searching when I found out that St. Arno had a vinyl record, and I thought to myself, that would be pretty cool. So I added that and a turntable to my Christmas list. Anyway, that holiday season, my office chair broke twice, so I also had to add a new office chair to my list as well, which probably dumbed down my chances of getting a turntable, but somehow my mom got me both a turntable and a new chair. The problem was that even though she ordered my St. Arno record, it was still shipping somewhere between British Columbia and Michigan, and we had to go visit family, so there was a possibility of it showing up and it either getting damaged or stolen, so my dad stopped the mail. Over the visit, I thought, man, it would be really funny if the FedEx guys didn't listen to the mail halt. Anyway, when we got home, the FedEx guys didn't listen to the mail halt. But luckily it didn't snow and no one stole it, so I got to listen to my favorite band on vinyl. Anyway, after that experience, I began buying records. Now one thing I began to learn is that records aren't cheap. I was very lucky that St. Arno was a cheap and it was good, because some bands I like have records that are hundreds of dollars. Do I like Billy Joel music? Yes, but I don't know if I'm willing to sell my kidneys in order to afford a Billy Joel vinyl. The other thing I learned is that the bands I like aren't exactly easy to find in the record form. I live in a town with a pretty decent downtown that has a ton of record stores, but since my parents never go down there and I don't have a driver's license yet, I have to settle for Target, Meijer, and Amazon for my records. Eventually, once I get a driver's license and learn how to parallel park, I'll be able to go get records downtown, but until then I'm stuck with those three stores, and it's been hard. There have been times when I walked into Target to get records, went to the record section, only to realize that every good record there has already been bought by me, and I've only bought one record from there. Now I mainly get records because they're cool to have, and I find it much cooler to tell someone about your record collection instead of just showing them your Spotify playlist. And even though records are older media, in my opinion the sound quality is better, but records are also fairly fragile, and I don't have a table for them. So currently my record player sits on top of a laundry hamper that's full of stuff to keep it up. And this isn't a smart move. That's like having a fish tank sitting on a stool 500 feet in the air. It's a disaster waiting to happen. My records themselves luckily are in a much safer spot, but you can only see one of them at a time because my shelf is too narrow to show them all at once. I plan on building a table to fix both of these problems, but until then, I just have to live with the fear of knocking into the shelf and destroying all of them on accident. Anyway, so far my record collection isn't that big, but it's pretty good. Because of the price of records, whenever I get a new record, I often spend a bit more money and get the $50 one with 2 albums and posters and stuff, because I found out that it's cheaper than buying just 2 albums separately, and I don't have much of an income. And even if I did, according to Social Blade, I would be making a high amount of $12 a year, which I don't even know if that can afford me one record. But my collection has gotten pretty good even with these constraints. I got a St. Arnold vinyl, Beatles, Green Day. I plan on getting a Lumineers vinyl and a Minecraft vinyl, and other vinyls in the future. But again, all that depends on me building that table, and I don't know when I'm gonna get to that. Ever since I've gotten into vinyl collecting, things have been great. I am now allowed into the senior home. I also get discounts at the local Meijer where I buy my records. All sorts of cool stuff. If you want to see what records I get in the future, I post all that to my Instagram, so look there. Thanks for watching.